Well, you're probably smarter than I am. You probably know what Bikers Heaven stands for. I thought I was a biker, that it was for me. I was on a lonely road in Tennessee, few houses, very few houses, far back in between. It's a nice, quiet road. I was on about for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles. I don't know. I just kept going. And then I saw Bikers Heaven. That's for me. Well, you know, it wasn't. I go in there, and the guy sits outside of Bikers Heaven with a beard and all kinds of things that bikers, then I knew it wasn't for bicycle bikers. I start talking to him, and I said, my name is Hanna. What's your name? They call me Dog. I can't call you Dog. What is your real name? I wrote it down. Clint. So I called him Clint. And I told him my story. And nobody, there was a time, not a lion was waiting for me. They didn't know I was even there. And nobody was waiting for me. I was looking for a motel. And there was nothing before that. And I said to him, is there something after this now? A motel or something? Or there was a building right next to him, looked a little bit like a motel. Is that a motel? No, that's a restaurant. And he said, well, there's a campground about 4 miles down the road. I can take you there and see what it's like. So we go there, and they were closed for the season. It was getting fall. He says, there's next down, 5 miles down, is another campground, which is public. This was a state campground, the first one. And we drove to that, and I told him I had a tent. He says, you can stay here for nothing in a tent. Clint waited in the pickup while we were negotiating. I didn't know that he was calling the newspaper in his town. So when we got back, the newspaper was waiting for me to interview me and all that kind of stuff. Well, to go 10 more miles with a bicycle, that's not all that short. And it's getting late in the day. And he had a lot of ground around his building. I said, you know, I can't make it down before it gets dark. I have all the lights on my bike and stuff, but I don't like to travel in the dark. I said, can I put my tent up here? Oh, sure. So while he was looking for a level ground, he had a retired school bus sitting next to his building. I looked in there. There's a lot of stuff in it, but there's a little spot, and I'm not that big. I can probably put my air mattress in there. So I said to Clint, I said, what about that bus? Oh, that's full of junk. I said, but you look, there's a little spot I can put my air mattress. Well, if you think so. So I slept in the bus that night. I got a little cold. I have a sleeping bag and stuff. And I saw some gunny sacks. I put them over me to stay warm enough. You know, when you're on a trip like that, you do with what you have and what you can do. And I got up real early in the morning. I go in the restaurant. It was 5:30, I think. They were open, thank goodness. And she said, what are you doing? So I said, can I use the bathroom? So I used the bathroom, and then I told her my story. And she said, I live right across the highway. You could stay at my place. I said, I think he thought of that, but we came over last night to the restaurant and you weren't there. You had somebody waiting. So he didn't feel to invite me to her house. So he thought he'd let me use the campground. But anyway, and then after I was in the restaurant, we had breakfast. A lot of men came and so on. I don't know where they all lived. They must have been far away because I didn't see any houses other than this place. Anyway, and then later Clint came over and I visited with him some more. And he says, before you leave, come over and talk to me. I want to give you something. So when I was ready to leave, don't have a green light, you're checking my time. I'm going to be done before that. But anyway, I went over there. He says, I want to give you a jacket. You pick out anything you want. And this is what he gave me. And they weren't cheap, these jackets. It's not leather. I didn't want leather because I was not a biker. I wanted something I could use. And he said, try it on. And this fit perfect. And yeah, that's what he gave me. So maybe, whatever it is. I can't think of anybody's name. Rick. Maybe you know what that's worth. I don't know. But I'm sure it wasn't cheap. And that's my story in Tennessee.